Hello, we'd like to start by welcoming you to Omaha Public Schools and Collective for Youth tutoring program. We're so excited for you to join our team. In a recent survey with over 2,000 respondents, students from Omaha Public Schools shared that they needed tutoring support across subject areas. Some preferred after school, some before, others online. What you're seeing here is a three-part strategy that responds to the needs articulated by students. First, we're providing school-based in-person tutoring by teachers and paras. Second, we're now providing online on-demand tutoring with paper, where students can get live homework help in English, Spanish, French, and Mandarin. And third, we're implementing community-based tutoring, working in partnership with Collective for Youth. That's where you'll come in. You'll be tutoring individual or small groups of students a few times a week. You're a vital component in helping our tutoring strategy work for our students. Our community partnership program is aligned with Omaha Public Schools' Portrait of a Graduate that defines what every graduate should know and be able to do upon graduation to ensure each student has the skills to succeed. Throughout a student's entire career at Omaha Public Schools, they'll learn to become resilient achievers, collaborators, communicators, critical thinkers, innovators, and civic and global contributors. At the elementary level, you'll be helping students to engage in speaking, writing, and reading through Scholastic's Brainstorm program. This level is where many of you will be working with the aim to improve literacy among elementary kids. At the middle level, you'll be helping students to engage in repeated reading of grade level text or MAP Accelerator for math. At the elementary level, you'll be using Brainstorm materials. They offer a meaningful way for mentors to help young readers boost reading and critical thinking skills. The program gets students excited and invested in reading and learning. And finally, the program promotes overall community engagement. Each tutor will receive a brainstorm kit. These materials aim to develop children's reading skills through high-interest topics. In your kit, you'll find student read-to-learn magazines, mentor guides with easy-to-use resources that walk you through the learning process, and Scholastic books that help boost reading success among students. Again, you'll be receiving a brainstorm kit. In the kit for grades 1 through 2, you'll receive a mentor-mentee guide that includes 10 lessons that will be spread out over a 30-week period. Take a moment to pause your video and take out your mentor guide. Flip through it to see all the resources it includes. In each brainstorm kit, there'll be 8 to 10 sessions that can be spread out over a 30-week period. In grades 1 through 2, students will read Little Critters, Green and Growing, and Creepy Crawlies. In grades 3 through 4, students will read Wild Weather, Animals at Risk, and Great Lives. Take a moment again to pause this video so that you can flip through one of the Read to Learn magazines, such as Little Critters, to see everything it has to offer our young readers. We like to ensure that tutoring follows an evidence-based model as much as possible. This framework illustrates what students should experience in a given session that will last approximately 40 minutes. For example, you can start with a meet and greet for a few minutes. Next, you can review the previous lesson, asking what they remember about the previous session. Then you can read the text together and review the reading. Finally, you can read books together. Ideally, we'd like the tutors to work with the same group of kids each time, with the aim that each group has no more than 3 to 5 students. Your community partner will be pairing you up with kids enrolled in the program. The key to success is to be prepared. Preview the lesson and plan ahead before arriving to your tutoring session. Spend at least 15 to 20 minutes preparing for your lesson before arriving at your session. You'll want to create a positive vibe in your group and convey excitement about reading with your kids, as they will feed off of your energy. Of course, you'll want to have a couple of ideas in your back pocket because we know that kids may need to calm down and to have silly brain breaks to get re-energized. For those of you that like to follow a process, here's another way to view how a typical lesson may be structured in this 9-step process. Step 1, you and your mentee will greet and catch up with one another. Step 2, as the mentor, you'll introduce a new topic. Step 3, you'll give background information about the topic that is found in your mentor guide. Step 4, you'll ask questions that encourage deep thinking. Step 5, you and your mentee will preview vocabulary together. This is really important as it helps students understand the overall meaning of the reading. Step 6, you and your mentee will read the article together. You'll see some reading strategies on slide 12 of this presentation that you can try with your mentee. Step 7, you'll support the reading with the provided prompts and strategies. Step 8, you'll break up the reading with a designated activity or interesting questions and facts. Here's where you can incorporate some of the vocabulary you introduced earlier in the lesson and use some of the background information. Step 9, after the reading, you and your mentee can engage in a follow-up activity to support and deepen what was learned during the reading session. Take a moment again to pause to review this information. Here you'll see another way in which to break each session down into 3 components that include before, during, and after reading strategies. Again, start by saying hello to build that relationship. Next, review previous learning. Ask students what they remember. Ask them a few leading questions. Then read the text together. You can use the session plans and assisted reading strategies that follow on slide 12 of this presentation. Finally, you can review the reading and read books together. You'll have an implementation guide where the mentor guide will walk you through every session, offering key strategies and helpful tips for engaging children before, during, and after reading, as you'll see on the next slide. Please pause your video for a few minutes here to explore your implementation guide. Here are 4 assisted reading strategies. First, you can use a modeled reading where the student follows along while the tutor reads aloud. This modeling can be good practice for students to see how words are pronounced. Second, you could have students read aloud together in a choral reading. This method is good because children don't feel signaled out for reading aloud alone in front of their classmates, and they can develop confidence in their reading ability. Third, you could have students practice shadow reading where the partner fades out when doing well and jumps back in when needing support. Last, students can do independent reading. Depending on the grade level that you'll be teaching, you'll have a mentor guide or a teaching guide. In it, you'll find lots of useful information to review before beginning your session with your group. The guide provides quick tips in this session, brainstorm discussion ideas, background information, strategy tips for more fun, and tips on before reading activities, during reading activities, and after reading activities. You'll definitely want to spend time here getting to know your guide. So take a few moments to pause this video to read everything that you have at your fingertips. If you have a mentor guide, go to pages 12 and 13. If you have a teaching guide, go to pages 14 and 15. When you arrive, be sure to meet and greet your group of students. You'll be working with them on a regular basis, so we encourage you to get to know them as relationship building helps students. You can check in with students using this mood meter to find out if they are high or low energy, or if they are comfortable or uncomfortable. To help students focus, have them try box breathing or the 5-finger breathing that you see here. For those tutors working at the middle level, we have strategies in place for literacy development and improving math skills. At this level, you'll begin by connecting with your students, re-engaging with them about previous content, having them work on grade level tasks, pre-engaging, and wrapping up. When working on literacy skills, you can work on an upcoming text or one that is currently being read in class. During the first read, you as the tutor will read aloud with comprehension questions. During the second read, you can do a word analysis. During the third read, you can annotate for comprehension. And on the final read, you can choose a portion of the text to model and release to student or pairs. In the math session, you may be using the Map Accelerator by the Khan Academy. You'll want to make connections to a previous lesson and have students work through the accelerator. As the tutor, you can provide guided error analysis or additional examples if needed. Finally, you could also provide homework help if needed. In conclusion, to wrap up what I've covered with you, this slide shows a glimpse at a typical lesson routine that is simple and designed to engage students. Remember that you'll be carrying out before reading, during reading, and after reading activities to help students in their literacy development. You'll want to acquaint yourself with this pacing to determine how much time you'd like to spend in each section. In the before reading section, an important point to highlight is that you'll want to be sure to preview content area vocabulary any words that are key to understanding the story, or high-frequency words, which are words that appear frequently in the text. During the reading, you'll want to employ some of the assisted reading strategies, like choral reading that I mentioned earlier in this video. Finally, be sure to save some time to do after reading activities, such as an extension activity. Extension tasks can provide more or different forms of practice. They can also make classroom learning more meaningful as they give learners a chance to personalize language and content. That concludes your training for today. Be sure to have fun and convey excitement to your students. They can feel your energy and passion. If you have any questions, please be sure to see your school site director. And once again, we're so excited that you've joined the team. Happy reading!